Hey guys, this is Vic from Plate.to.paper. In today's tutorial, we'll be painting Strawberry Sando. This exercise and the materials I'll be referencing come from the 2nd edition Watercolour Art Kit that I released with Mossery. The link is in the description if you want to check it out. So let's start with the colour mixes. First, the bread. I'm using Chinese white, lemon yellow and yellow ochre. For shading, yellow ochre, burnt sienna and lemon yellow. For the outlines, I increased the concentration of ochre and burnt sienna. For the whipped cream, Chinese white, neutral tint, and a touch of burnt sienna. For the kiwi slices, permanent yellow and viridian green. For shading, I add viridian and a touch of burnt sienna. For the seeds, I'm mixing neutral tint, ultramarine and burnt sienna. Lastly, the strawberries. Opera pink and vermilion for the base. Diluted for the first wash. For shading, I'm adding a bit of ultramarine to a concentrated mix of opera and vermilion. Now we have our basic palette, so let's start painting. First, I'll apply a base wash to the bread. Then I'll apply a light wash of my green mix to the kiwi slices. Starting with the strawberries by brushing in some clean water. Then I apply a diluted red to the sides, followed by another round with more concentrated red. Then I'll add my first strokes to the core. I repeat the steps for the next strawberry. Adding some shading to the bread. Now with my grey mix, I start adding details to the cream. If you think you've made a mistake, simply apply water with a clean brush and lift the pigment with a tissue or paper towel. Here, I'm adding some first details to the bread. Unlike cake, the holes I'm painting are thinner and longer. We'll let them dry as I apply some light outlines to the bread. Going in with my darker green to work on the kiwi slices. I want to leave some lighter portions to reflect the colours of the fruit in real life. Now I'm using my pink watercolour pencil to add some definition to the shapes. I pick up some of my lighter spread colour and start brushing it into the areas that I painted before. This will give the surface some subtle color variation and help to soften the impression of the holes painted earlier. Back to the strawberries. I paint in lines spaced apart, radiating from the core. I fill in the sections with diluted red, making sure to keep an unpainted line between each one. Use a more concentrated red to paint in the outer edges and add some details. Repeat the steps for the other strawberry. You can use some diluted red to extend the gradient if you like. Here I'm using my darkest red for some light outlines. Going over the edges of my kiwi slices with my darkest green. And then I paint in some small seeds. Now I'm adding more definition to the bread. I'm also repeating the process of blurring some details while also adding more. This layering of details really helps to add to the subtlety and realism of the piece. Another round with the colour pencil. And then using some darker grey for some very small additions here. Yet another round of layering, blurring and detailing. With simple forms like these, I tend to spend a lot more time on the texturing, as you can see with this piece. Last touches here on the cream. And one final go with the watercolor pencil. And we're done. Our Strawberry Sando is complete. This is a really cute motif that was a lot of fun to paint, so I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough. I also have a dedicated strawberry tutorial on my channel if you want to learn more about painting them. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!